Is your current hairstyle quietly aging you? You might be surprised. For many older women, hair becomes more than just a beauty choice. It's a reflection of identity, resilience, and confidence. But over time, it's easy to fall into patterns that once served us well, but no longer suit the person we've become. That trusted cut you've worn for years. It may not flatter your features the way it once did. That hair color you've been touching up out of habit, it could be doing more harm than good. The truth is, our hair ages just like our skin. It thins, grays, loses volume. And yet many of us keep styling it the same way we did in our 40s or 50s. The result? We unintentionally emphasize the very things we're trying to soften. Sagging around the jawline, dullness in the complexion, or heaviness around the cheeks. Worse yet, some hairstyles can even make us look tired, stern, or older than we feel inside. But here's the good news. The fix doesn't require a drastic chop or a high-maintenance salon routine. Sometimes all it takes is shifting a parting, adjusting a layer, or warming up a shade to take years off your look. The key lies in choosing styles that lift, frame, and illuminate, bringing out your best features while working with the natural changes that come with age. In this guide, we'll walk through 7 common hairstyle mistakes mature women often make, subtle choices that may be undermining your entire look. And most importantly, I'll show you how to correct them with expert-backed tips that are both modern and wearable. Because growing older doesn't mean fading into the background. It means evolving gracefully, stylishly, and powerfully. Let's help your hair reflect exactly that. As we age, our hair naturally changes, just like our skin, metabolism, or even our style preferences. It may get finer, drier, or lose its natural volume. But one of the biggest mistakes many mature women make, holding on to a haircut that's too flat, too heavy, or just plain outdated. It might be a once trendy blunt bob that no longer flatters your features. Or maybe it's hair that's been kept long for years, now hanging limply without structure. Sometimes, in an effort to play it safe, women opt for one-length styles that lack any real movement or shape. And that's where things start to go wrong. Why is this such a problem? Because shape is everything when it comes to making hair look youthful and fresh. A haircut that's too uniform or boxy can drag your face downward, emphasize sagging, or make thinning more noticeable. It can also look lifeless, especially on graying or dry textures. In contrast, a well-shaped cut adds lift, softness, and dimension, instantly refreshing your entire appearance. The fix: opt for soft, face-flattering layers. The goal is to create soft movement around the face and lift at strategic points like the crown or cheekbones to enhance your natural features, not fight against them. Consider starting with a layered bob or a shoulder-length cut with feathered ends. These cuts offer more flexibility, allow the hair to flow naturally, and can be tailored to your face shape. Layers can reduce bulk where needed or add volume where hair is thinning. And if you're worried about looking too choppy, don't be. A skilled stylist will blend the layers in a way that looks soft and effortless. If your hair is long and you're not ready to part with the length, no problem. But make sure it's shaped well. Adding face-framing pieces or subtle angles can completely transform a tired haircut into something modern and flattering. Even long hair can be youthful when it's light, airy, and shaped to follow the natural contours of your face. It's also worth discussing your hair texture with your stylist. As we age, hair may lose its bounce or develop new patterns. Hello, surprise waves, or cowlicks. A great cut will work with those changes, not fight against them. Finally, don't underestimate the power of a professional consultation. Bring in photos of cuts you like, but be open to what the stylist recommends for your current hair texture, face shape, and lifestyle. A haircut isn't just about style, it's about energy. A fresh, flowing, well-shaped style has movement, and movement equals youth. Next, let's talk about another mistake that's just as subtle, but just as aging. Mistake number 2, ignoring the hairline and part placement. Because where your hair starts and how you part it can make all the difference in how fresh and modern you look. For many mature women, bangs are a love-hate relationship. They can frame the face beautifully, conceal forehead lines, and add softness. But when you're in that awkward in-between stage of growing them out, they can become a daily frustration. One of the most common hair mistakes women over 50 make is not addressing this transitional phase intentionally. The result? Hair constantly falling in the eyes, excessive pinning, or the temptation to give up and cut them back prematurely. What often gets overlooked is that this phase can actually disrupt the entire balance of your hairstyle. In this stage, bangs tend to hang at an odd length, too long to blend into the layers, yet too short to tuck neatly behind the ears. And for women who already dislike hair falling on their face, like many with active lifestyles or sensitive skin, this can quickly become an everyday nuisance. So, what's the fix? Instead of simply waiting it out, a smarter approach is to integrate your growing bangs into a deliberate style. This might involve slightly reshaping them at a salon so that they transition more smoothly into the side layers or longer face framing pieces. A side-swept approach, for instance, can be elegant, practical, and forgiving during this phase. It allows you to maintain facial openness while reducing that in-your-eyes annoyance. Another trick is to adjust the source of your bangs. Many women find their bangs fall forward aggressively because they originate from a section too far back on the crown. By understanding your hair's natural fall, especially where your head starts to curve forward, you can work with your stylist to redistribute weight and minimize bulk that keeps collapsing toward your face. And remember, if bangs are going to stay, they need intention. A blunt fringe without thoughtful layering can widen the face, especially if it cuts straight across at eyebrow level. That's not flattering for rounder or fuller face shapes, and it can easily undo the more elongating effects of your haircut. By softly blending grown-out bangs into surrounding layers, you maintain visual flow and avoid harsh interruptions in your facial framing. Plus, it opens up styling versatility, from polished tucks behind the ears to swept-back waves that keep the look fresh and effortless. Now that we've addressed the bangs dilemma, let's talk about another sneaky element that can drag your look down, the nape area. Mistake number 3 is one most women don't even realize is aging them until they see it from the side. Let's dive in. You may not see it in the mirror every day, but the back of your head, especially the nape area, can silently sabotage your hairstyle. For women over 50, one of the most overlooked yet most aging hair mistakes is allowing too much weight or length to gather at the nape of the neck. It may not seem important, but this one zone can single-handedly make your entire haircut look shapeless, dated, or even sloppy from the side or back. As we age, the texture and density of our hair change. For many women, the hair at the nape starts to grow heavier, straighter, or flatter than the rest of the head. When left unchecked, it begins to create a triangle effect, wide and bulky at the bottom, narrow and flat on top. This draws the eye downward and shortens the neck visually, making you look heavier and less refined, even if your outfit or makeup is on point. So what's the solution? Lightening and layering the nape area is key. A good stylist should always check the back of your head with a mirror before finishing a cut, especially if you have thick or medium density hair. Subtle tapering at the nape can lift the overall silhouette, creating a more elegant, elongated neckline and bringing the eye back upward. This technique also makes a bob or lob haircut fall more gracefully, rather than bunching up and curling awkwardly at the base. If you wear your hair short, like in a pixie or graduated bob, the nape is even more critical. Too much bulk at the base can throw off the entire shape of the cut. Instead, aim for clean, crisp lines at the nape that give the style structure and polish. Even a little overgrowth or unevenness back there can instantly make a cut look tired or outdated. And for longer styles, don't be afraid to request some hidden underlayers. These are discreet, weight-removing layers placed underneath the top surface of your hair, perfect for removing thickness without compromising the overall look or length. The goal isn't to cut off too much, it's to create invisible architecture that keeps your hair shape intentional from every angle. A sculpted, refined nape signals confidence, care, and modernity. Now that we've covered the back of the head, let's move on to something that's front and center, your parting. Mistake number 4 is all about the dangers of clinging to the same hair part for decades, and what happens when we don't adapt. Let's be honest, we all have our habits, and your hair part might be one of them. Maybe you've had the same side part since your 20s, or maybe you've stuck with a dead center part because that's what you always did. But here's the truth. Your part isn't just a preference, it's a powerful tool, and sticking to the same one for decades could be silently adding years to your appearance. As we age, the symmetry and balance of our face begin to shift. Our features soften, skin loses elasticity, and volume may disappear from the cheeks and temples. What once looked great in your 30s may not complement the shape of your face now. Yet many women resist change, thinking, this is just how I part my hair. But holding on to a part that no longer flatters your face is like wearing the same glasses prescription for 20 years. It simply doesn't serve you anymore. Here's why it matters. The right part can create instant lift, balance, and even camouflage. A deep side part, for instance, can draw attention away from fine lines or asymmetry and bring volume where you need it most. On the other hand, a sharp middle part can elongate the face and create a sleek, modern frame, but only if your facial shape and hair texture support it. So how do you know it's time for a change? Ask yourself, does my part make my face look droopy or flat? Is it highlighting thinning areas? Do I feel like my hairstyle is falling flat no matter what I do? If the answer is yes, it might be time to play with the direction and depth of your part. Even shifting your part by just half an inch can make a surprising difference. It refreshes the eye and gives your entire look new energy. Another game-changing tip: zigzag or textured parts. They break up the harsh lines of thinning hair and can disguise sparse spots near the scalp, something many women start experiencing post-menopause. These slightly undone parts also soften the overall appearance and bring a more youthful, less rigid vibe to your style. And if you're not sure where to begin, consult your stylist. A good one will take your face shape, hairline, and density into account to recommend a more flattering part. Sometimes, just pairing a new part with some face framing layers or soft volume at the crown is all it takes to modernize your whole look, without losing length or going for a dramatic cut. Ready to make your hair work for you, not against you. Good, because mistake number 5 is one that women often don't even realize they're making. Let's talk about the wrong kind of bangs and how to fix them. Bangs can be your best friend or your worst enemy. They have the power to frame your face, soften strong features, and even cover forehead lines. But for many women, especially as we age, bangs become a double-edged sword. Why? Because the wrong kind of bangs can instantly date your look or add visual weight to your face. Let's start with heavy, blunt bangs, those thick, straight-across cuts that were trendy in your 30s. On mature faces, they can appear too harsh, drawing a straight line across your features and actually emphasizing wrinkles or sagging around the eyes. Rather than flattering your forehead, they create a visual block that competes with the natural softness of aging skin. Then, there are ultra-short bangs, often called baby bangs. These can come off as too edgy or severe, especially when worn without the right styling or face shape in mind. On older women, they can unintentionally age you by making your features look sharper and more angular than they actually are. Plus, they draw attention to the upper third of your face, where lines tend to live. On the flip side, too long curtain bangs, the ones that hang limply near your cheeks, can drag your face downward if they're not styled with movement or volume. They might have looked boho chic years ago, but without bounce or shape, they now risk making you look tired or weighed down. So, what's the solution? Opt for soft, wispy bangs that graze the eyebrows or gently frame the eyes. These types of bangs can lift your overall appearance, highlight your eyes, and soften fine lines without looking bulky or severe. Wispy bangs are forgiving. They're versatile enough to blend into layers or tuck behind your ears when needed. If you prefer a little more structure, side-swept bangs are another universally flattering choice. They work wonders on almost every face shape, helping to balance out proportions and create a natural sense of movement. When styled correctly, they can even give the illusion of a mini facelift. And here's an insider tip. Ask your stylist to texturize your bangs with soft point cutting instead of blunt shears. This small detail creates airiness and allows your bangs to move with your hair, giving your whole style a lighter, fresher appearance. At the end of the day, bangs should enhance your features, not hide them. The right fringe can open up your face, draw attention to your best assets, and even become your signature look. But the wrong one, it can do the opposite. Let's keep moving, because mistake number 6 is something many women don't realize they're guilty of until they see it in a photo. Let's talk about flat crown syndrome and why it's stealing your style. It's subtle, it creeps up on you over time, and worst of all, it can ruin even the most elegant haircut. We're talking about flat hair at the crown. Many women don't even realize it's happening until they catch a glimpse of themselves in a photo or mirror. That deflated shape at the top of the head. It can instantly make you look older, more tired, and less polished, even if the rest of your look is on point. As we age, our hair naturally loses volume. The follicles shrink, the strands become finer, and our once lifted crown begins to lie flat. Add to that gravity, heat styling damage, and layers that are cut too long or heavy, and suddenly we're left with a crown that feels lifeless. Here's the problem. A flat crown can drag the entire face downward. It flattens your silhouette, makes your face look wider, and removes that sense of lift that's so crucial as we get older. No matter how youthful your makeup or how tailored your outfit, flat hair can quietly sabotage the look. So what's the fix? First, ask your stylist for strategic layering at the crown. These layers should be subtle, not choppy, and designed to add lift without compromising shape. A good stylist knows how to remove weight in the right places while keeping fullness where it matters most. Second, consider using volumizing products, but skip anything that's stiff or crunchy. Mousse, root lifting spray, or a light dry texturizing spray can work wonders. Apply them while your hair is damp, focusing on the root area at the crown, and blow dry using a round brush or even with your head flipped upside down for a boost. A little backcombing, yes, teasing, can also help as long as it's gentle. The goal isn't to go full 1960s beehive, but rather to create invisible scaffolding that lifts the crown and gives your style structure. Another trick, part your hair slightly off-center. A dead center part can actually emphasize flatness, while an angled part adds lift and visual interest, drawing the eye upward. If your hair is naturally very fine or thin, you might also explore a lightweight root powder for volume or even clip-in toppers that blend with your natural hair for those special occasions when you need an extra boost. Remember, volume isn't about being big and bold, it's about balance and shape. Even a subtle lift at the crown can take years off your appearance, restoring that air of confidence and vitality. Let's move forward, because mistake number 7 is all about ignoring the back of your haircut. And trust us, what people see from behind matters more than you think. Up next, we're addressing a mistake that might be lurking in your color routine. Mistake number 7, holding on to the wrong hair color. If your current shade is working against your skin tone, it might be time for a beautiful refresh. Let's dive in. For many women over 50, the focus when getting a haircut tends to be the front, face-framing layers, bangs, or soft fringes that flatter and highlight our features. And while these elements are essential, there's one part that too often gets overlooked: the back. Here's the thing. The back of your head is just as visible to the world as the front. Think about it. Whether you're waiting in line at the grocery store, walking down the street, or sitting in front of someone at lunch, the back of your hair is on full display. And yet many women unintentionally allow it to grow out unevenly, flatten out, or take on an unflattering shape over time. One of the most aging things about a haircut isn't necessarily the style. It's the lack of shape or balance, especially from behind. When the back of your hair becomes bulky, overgrown, or shapeless, it weighs down the entire look. It can make your head appear wider, your neck shorter, and your overall appearance less refined. This is particularly common with short or medium-length styles like bobs and lobs. Without regular upkeep, these cuts can lose their silhouette, especially at the nape. The result? A look that once felt fresh and elegant starts to feel heavy and tired. So how can you avoid this? The solution begins with a great stylist, someone who views your hair in 360 degrees. When getting a cut, don't hesitate to ask your stylist to show you how the back looks. Better yet, request a cut that maintains structure as it grows out. Graduated layers, soft stacking at the nape, or subtle texturizing can keep the back looking light and youthful. At home, make the back part of your daily styling routine. Use a handheld mirror to check the shape regularly. When blow drying, don't just focus on the front and sides. Make sure you're adding volume at the crown and smoothing or lifting the back to maintain the intended shape. And if you're someone who ties your hair up often, pay attention to how the back lies when pulled into a ponytail or clip. Stray hairs, uneven lengths, or bulky sections are telltale signs of a cut in need of attention. Ultimately, giving the back of your hair just as much care as the front is a small detail, but one that makes a big difference. It shows you've thought your style through, that you're intentional, polished, and confident in every angle, and that brings us to a beautiful close. Your hair, your power. at every age. As we wrap up, let's take a moment to step back and see the bigger picture. Hair isn't just about looking pretty. It's a reflection of how we feel inside, how we show up for ourselves and for the world. And as women over 50, over 60, or beyond, we've earned the right to wear our beauty with intention, not apology. The 7 mistakes we explored today, whether it's clinging to outdated lengths, ignoring the shape at the back, or forgetting the power of texture and softness, aren't about judgment. They're about awareness. Because the truth is, aging isn't the enemy. Stagnation is. What truly ages us isn't gray hair or fine lines. It's when we stop evolving, when we stop seeing ourselves as worthy of care, attention, and personal style. But here's the good news. Every single one of these mistakes is fixable. A few snips here, a fresh parting there, a layered bob instead of a boxy cut. These aren't drastic changes. They're small, intentional shifts that reflect how much you still care, not just about how you look, but about how you feel. So let this video be more than a style guide. Let it be a reminder. You're still vibrant, still visible, still very much allowed to take up space, and to do it beautifully. Your haircut can whisper it, or shout it, but either way, let it say, "This is who I am now, and I love her." Whether you're walking into your next salon appointment, standing in front of your bathroom mirror, or simply scrolling for inspiration, carry that energy with you. Aging isn't about fading away. It's about coming into full bloom, with wisdom, with grace, and yes, with style. Because when a woman embraces her beauty at every age, she doesn't just look younger, she looks unstoppable.